Story 1. A Night at Cry Baby Bridge. You know, every town has its legends. Those tales that parents use to scare their kids into behaving, or stories teenagers dare each other to explore. In my small town, just 3 miles northwest of Monmouth, Illinois, we had the Crybaby Bridge. For as long as I can remember, older kids would tell us the gruesome tale of the school bus tragedy at the bridge. It was said that many years ago, during a particularly harsh rainstorm, an elementary school bus, filled with innocent children, met its doom there. A sudden flash flood washed the bridge out, and the bus, unable to stop in time, plunged off the side. Every single child on board was claimed by the raging waters, but that's not the end of the story. Legend says that the spirits of those kids never left. It was rumored that if you positioned your car at the start of the bridge precisely at midnight and placed it into neutral, those same children would muster their ethereal strength to push your vehicle across. And if you were brave, or perhaps foolish, enough to sprinkle baby powder on your bumper, you'd see their tiny handprints as proof of their presence. My friends and I, we never really bought into the legend, maybe because we thought we were too rational, too logical. But on Halloween night in 2006, a part of us wanted to see if there was any truth to it. We decided to take Mark's Jeep, big enough to fit all 4 of us, and old enough that we wouldn't be devastated if it got a scratch or two. As we approached the bridge, we shared light-hearted banter, laughing off our mild anxieties. The clock ticked closer to midnight. Following the ritual as we had heard it, I sprinkled baby powder all over the Jeep's bumper. We all inspected it, making sure every inch was covered, half expecting to see some marks already. But there was nothing, just the smooth white powder. Mark, in a dramatic fashion, aligned the Jeep at the start of the bridge. He placed the car into neutral and revved the engine, heightening our heart rates. Then we sat and waited. For something. Anything. Minutes felt like hours. Nothing happened. We all started laughing, chastising ourselves for even thinking this could be real. I remember my friend Sarah joking about how she'd have a better chance finding a ghost in her attic. We were on the brink of giving up, labeling this as another failed adventure when it began. It started as a faint, distant sobbing. "Is that a baby?" Mark whispered, but the sound grew, evolving into multiple cries, a mixture of countless voices, each one louder and more distressed than the last. Our chuckles died down instantly. Suddenly the Jeep lurched forward. It was subtle at first, like when you think you've forgotten to put your car in park. But then, it quickly gained momentum. The wheels rolled over the old tarmac, and the once distant cries now sounded like they were right inside our car. My heart raced, every cry penetrating my ears, every sob tearing at my soul. In our panic, none of us thought to stop the car. It felt like we were in the clutches of an unseen force, hurtling us with increasing speed towards the other side of the bridge. Our laughter had been replaced with screams, our skepticism with pure, unadulterated terror. The Jeep accelerated quickly, faster and faster, until with one final jolt, it came to a halt, having crashed into the protective barrier on the other side of the bridge. We sat there for a moment, trying to process what had just happened. Our breaths were ragged, our hands shaking. As the reality of our situation sank in, we slowly stepped out, inspecting the Jeep for damage. That's when we saw them. On the baby-powdered bumper were dozens of tiny handprints, clear against the white backdrop. Handprints of children who had met their untimely end on that very bridge. The undeniable proof was right there in front of our eyes. We hopped back into the Jeep and drove back into town. It was quiet the entire way back. Honestly, I think we were all just too shaken to say much. Even now, years after the event, we reflect back and try to come to terms with it. The 4 of us don't talk about that night much. The weight of it hangs on us. I'm sharing this now, not as a dare or challenge, but as a warning. Some legends, no matter how unbelievable they seem, hold a grain of truth. Crybaby Bridge is real. Those children, they're still there, waiting. If you ever find yourself in Monmouth and hear the tale of Crybaby Bridge, remember our story. Respect the legend, and whatever you do, don't venture there at midnight. Story 2. My terrifying weekend at Hotel Savoy. There are moments in life when your curiosity gets the best of you, and you decide to face the unknown head-on. Last Halloween, I made that very decision. I booked a stay at the Hotel Savoy, renowned as America's oldest continuously operating hotel west of the Mississippi River. With a history dating back to 1888, and having hosted luminaries such as Harry S. Truman and John D. Rockefeller, I was intrigued. But what truly piqued my interest were the rumors of Room 505. The crisp air of late October nipped at my cheeks as I approached the hotel. Its towering facade, reminiscent of an era long gone, was covered in an array of autumnal hues. Checking in was a breeze, the staff was courteous, and the lobby resonated with the laughter of guests, presumably in town to celebrate Halloween. "Room 505, sir." The receptionist handed me the key, her face momentarily clouded with what I perceived to be a mix of concern and curiosity. Maybe she was wondering why someone would willingly stay in that room. The thrill of the weekend ahead made me ignore her fleeting expression. The antiquated elevator groaned and creaked, setting the tone for my stay. When I finally reached my room, the door opened with a faint but distinct screech, revealing an interior that seemed untouched by time. The furnishings were grand, echoing the late 19th century, but it was what lay in the ensuite bathroom that seized my attention. A bathtub, replete with classic taps and fittings. Exhausted, I decided to turn in early. The bed was comfortable, but my dreams that night? Far from it. I dreamt of a young woman dressed in period attire filling up the bathtub. She seemed sad, her expression haunting. I tried calling out to her, but the words never left my lips. In that hazy realm of sleep, I could feel her sorrow, thick and tangible. I woke with a jolt, my heart racing. What I attributed to remnants of the dream soon became my waking nightmare. The taps in the bathroom were on, and the tub was half full. Confused, and now genuinely concerned, I shut the water off, attributing it to some kind of plumbing issue. Trying to shake off the eeriness of the morning, I decided to spend the day exploring the city. But as the sun set, an inexplicable urge drew me back to the hotel. Perhaps it was morbid curiosity, or maybe something more profound. Dinner at the hotel's vintage restaurant was pleasant. Patrons exchanged tales of Halloween pranks and plans. But as dessert arrived, a soft melody wafted through the air. It sounded like someone was playing the piano, but the notes were melancholic, almost heart-wrenching. Asking the staff about it, they merely exchanged glances but said nothing. Retiring to my room, the weight of the history of the place seemed even more profound. I could almost feel the countless stories embedded in its walls, yet I was determined to have a peaceful night. Around 2 a.m., I was jolted awake once again by the sound of running water. Dreading what I might find, I ventured into the bathroom. The taps were on full blast, and the tub was overflowing. I quickly turned them off, feeling a chill run down my spine. There was no logical explanation. I was alone in the room, and the door was locked from the inside. But what truly sent me into a panic was the wet trail of footprints leading from the tub to the bed. In the dim light of the room, I could clearly see the silhouette of a woman, her dress dripping with water, sitting at the foot of the bed. The room was cold, unnaturally so, and I could hear that melancholic melody again, only this time it was clearer, as if played right next to me. I wanted to run, to scream, but fear rooted me to the spot. After what seemed like an eternity, the figure slowly faded away, leaving me in a room filled with an overwhelming sadness. I spent the rest of the night in the hotel lobby, too scared to return to room 505. At dawn, I approached the reception, eager to check out. I recounted my experience, and the receptionist, an older gentleman this time, nodded slowly. "You encountered Betsy Ward," he began. She was a young woman who stayed in room 505 in the late 1800s. It is said she died in that very bathtub, heartbroken. Many have reported the taps turning on and off, and some even claim to have seen her. I left the Hotel Savoy with a tale that would haunt me forever. My weekend getaway turned into a confrontation with the supernatural. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, some places carry with them memories so profound that they refuse to be forgotten. Visiting the Hotel Savoy was meant to be a daring adventure, a brush with the unknown. But what I didn't anticipate was how deeply the past can reach out, reminding us of the stories that once unfolded within historical walls. Room 505 is a testament to that. Would I ever return? Maybe, but not alone, and definitely not on Halloween. Thanks for tuning in to another episode from the Alley of Nightmares. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Until next time,